why you do that? Aren't you embarrassing me and blah, 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 blah. I said, but that's how I'm getting over the addiction. I fucking get on the internet and I sit there and say how I feel. And I mean, it's got me, 5 years clean? Because I keep talking about it. I don't mind talking about it.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast. A snapshot in time rarely defines the hard edges of anything that is captured. You can never see growth, change, success, or failure within that singular millisecond that the shutter closes. A photograph is purely a memory of a time gone by. Our lives are judged in much the same way as a photograph. Interacting with somebody at the right or wrong second in time can burn an image that is either favorable or unfavorable, never allowing for change or redemption. Sometimes it's better to remember people the way they were, and other times it's enlightening to see them evolve. We never stay the same, and often that snapshot in your head is a false representation of the person you have become. I'm Kevin Donaldson here with Mike Failace, and welcome to the Suffering Podcast. If you're a fan of overcoming adversity and overcoming suffering, then we're for you, because that's what we do here, and that's the stories we highlight. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, please comment, ring the bell to get notified of all of our new content, and now you can join. Don't forget to follow us on all social media so you can find out what we're up to. And tonight's extremely special guest coming all
the way from the ATL.
The ATL.
Yeah.
Flew in last night. His arms are tired. And that's Justin Kase. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here, and I'm excited. We talked some shit and laughed, and you can figure me out, you know?
We had a lot of fun before it even started. We should have just recorded that when we would have been out already.
It's really going to be a great show. Before we get into anything, let's give a big shout out to our marquee sponsor. That's Toyota of Hackensack. We don't trust anybody as police, but we do trust Toyota of Hackensack. So if you're looking for a car, you know where to go. Go to ToyotaHackensack.com and let them find you a car. So, Justin, every week we take a question from our audience. This question comes from a person named Glizzo_money. It says,
nice.
What is something, I might be saying that wrong, just so you know. What
is it Lizzo?
It could be. It could be G Lizzo. Could be the Lizzo.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. What is something outside of your current skill set that you always wanted to master? Now, you're an amazing photographer. I've seen your work. You have an eye for this stuff. You know exactly what you want, how you want it, and how to get it. But is there anything outside of photography that maybe you always just wanted to do?
Yeah, it's funny. When I got out of rehab, I wanted to become like an addiction therapist. So I recently got actually accepted into Georgia State University so I could do like addiction therapy on the side. Because I love talking to crackheads and shit. I mean, it's fun, you know?
You're talking to two right here.
That's what I mean. So I was like,
makes you look smarter.
Yeah, but I mean, why not? I could just sit down and talk and have fun and laugh and, try to help them out, because a lot of people are scared to get help.
How many times you imitate Tyrone Biggums?
I have no idea.
That's Chappelle. I smoked some crack.
I know, right?
Yeah. Mike, what about you?
You ever suck dick for crack?
There was that one time in college, but it was experimentation.
There's two things I always wanted to do. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a stuntman.
Nice.
I just loved, because I was the kid on the bike throwing myself I always wanted to be a stuntman.
So you had two toys growing up. You had an Evel Knievel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And did you ever have that stuntman set? You set it up and you put the stuntman on top, you knock him over, he breaks through the table.
Yeah, and the cars that crash and the doors fly off and all that. Yeah. I had all of that. And the other thing, I always want to be a musician. I would love to be playing in a band or something like that, but I am the least musically inclined person you ever know.
But that would be pretty cool because you could like tour the whole world and check out every city.
Listen, I got friends in bands. We had Derek in here. They tour the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just looks like, and I watch the videos all the time. It looks like so much fun. I was on tour with them for a while. I've been backstage, and it just looks like so much fun.
And we all were all drug addicts, too. So, I mean, what a better profession to have,
30 years ago, that looked like fun. Now it looks exhausting.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is when the bands that I used to work for first started, hot looking women all over. Now the only good looking women are like the guy's daughters. And like, keep your eyes off my daughters, you idiot.
So Derek's a guitarist in Overkill, thrash metal band, and he said this line, I'll never forget this as long as I live. What has 10,000 hands and 2 tits? An Overkill audience. Because it's all dudes.
Yeah.
So for me, and I think I've said this once or twice, I always wanted to learn how to play the piano. I just love the sound of the piano. I love the idea of sitting down there and having free reign to make and create any type of music that you want. So years ago, I taught myself how to type. All right, I used to be able to type like 180 words a minute. My grandmother was a government secretary, and she sort of worked with me. And so I figured if I can teach myself how to type, I got to be able to teach myself how to play the piano, right? No, it doesn't work that way. They don't translate, and there is no cross promotion on that one.
Yeah.
You cannot. But, I can pick up certain chords and stuff like this. I can pick up sounds and stuff, but I just could never grasp. Like some people just sit, and I'm so jealous of them because some people sit down at a piano or a musical instrument and they can just do it.
Mm-hmm. What about those people that play like 6 or 7 different instruments? They could play a guitar, a bass, a piano, a clarinet, a trombone. It's like
I had a guy at the hotel last night. I seen him 3 times pass by with a guitar in his hand. We talked for like 15 minutes. He's trying to show me how to play strings. I said, I don't know how the fuck you do that. He said, you got any kids? I say, no. He said, well, you kind of learn how to play the piano that way.
I've been going down this weird YouTube Beatles rabbit hole. And every once in a while I'll do that. And I'm watching them during their recording sessions. And Ringo's working through Octopus's Garden. And he gets on the piano and he starts playing. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking drummer. Like, what? How are you doing this? Or he'll get on the guitar and he'll just play a couple chords or something like this. And I understand that it's 3 or 4 chords for most songs. I get that. I understand that. But their ability for timing and how to do it, it's I marvel at it. I'm in awe of all their talents. In the same way I'm in awe of your talent because you have an eye to look at something and see exactly what you want and you can get it.
It's funny you said that walking through a hotel seeing a guy with a guitar. What I used to do when I was younger, I bought a guitar case. I used to walk through a hotel lobby and people thought I was a musician. They'd walk right out the back door and go home.
Would they throw you some money in the hat?
That's funny. You talking about an eye, though. That's what a lot of people love about me on the red carpet, like the celebrities, because I don't get them shots where it's like straight on. I like getting them shots where they to the side, they laughing or smiling. I like them weird, I'm corny. I like the corny angles.
But it's a different angle.
Yeah, the candid stuff.
Yeah, there you go, candid.
So, I can understand that a lot because like I do all of our social media clips here. And you can do a lot of the stuff with AI now.
Yeah.
But I've tried it. It doesn't have a soul.
Yeah.
Okay. So nowadays with photography, you can take a regular picture and I've done it. You can put it on somebody's face and make it look somewhat good, but it's like soulless.
Yeah.
When you put your hard work into it, or if I put my work into a social media clip, like, it's a Justin Kase photograph. It's a Suffering Podcast reel.
Yeah.
Because it's got that soul.
We got that signature to it.
Yeah, it's got that little soul where, that's from him. So that's the important thing. So Glizzo, thank you so much for sending that in. Keep sending in your questions, and we will try to get them on the air.
I like that, too. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's one I think we could talk about for most of the show.
No, that was fun, though, because, a lot of people don't ask me that. They just see photographers, so.
Yeah, but there's so much more to you than just a photographer.
Yeah, but wait till I'm an addiction therapist. I send you some videos if I can. You'll be laughing.
I'm going to be sitting in front of you one day.
Yeah, I don't care. Let's do it.
But that's very common.
Yeah.
To reach out if you've gone through some troubles, some trials, to reach out to people who are a little further behind you on the road.
Yeah.
And try to give them a hand up because it's a really benevolent thing. But I have seen people the other way who have taken.
Yeah.
And they never give it back.
But see, when I was married, my ex-wife, I said not talk about it, but she used to get so mad at me because I always talked about cocaine and Adderall. Why you do that? Aren't you embarrassing me and blah, 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 blah. I said, but that's how I'm getting over the addiction. I fucking get on the internet and I sit there and say how I feel. And it's got me, 5 years clean? Because I keep talking about it. I don't mind talking about it.
Well, you have to get it out. We've learned that. You have to get it out. The longer you keep it inside, you run away from the prairie fire, Mike.
Well, Kevin, I just wanted to.
Oh, you're such a dickhead. As Clark would say to you, you rat bastard.
Right.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up pretty much in Atlanta.
Okay. You grew up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
In Atlanta proper. But you would spend time everywhere, right? You're a New Jersey boy.
Yeah. My dad's from Jersey. I spent a lot of summers up here, I actually lived in Jersey, in Toms River with my Aunt Lauren and Uncle Mike.
Jersey Shore.
Oh, my God, it was so fun. Like, I was telling him before we started, like, the backyard was right here. You could jump on the boat dock and you could see, the tower, the Seaside Heights. So we take the boat and go over there and get smashed.
So you're right by the bridge.
Yeah, but the whole thing was we don't want to take the bridge because there's always the prick sitting on the one side and the asshole sitting on the other side waiting for someone like us to come by. So we just took the boat.
It's safer to swim.
Yeah.
But cops don't like to swim in uniform.
So Justin and I were talking, and his father lived for a short time in Short Hills.
Yeah.
And how long he moved out when he was 16? So how long's he been out?
Yeah, he moved out to Utah.
Yeah, but how long has he been out of Short Hills?
Oh God, forever.
Boy, that's a bad investment.
Because they've been
right
in
there.
Atlanta. They've been in Atlanta for like almost 30 years.
Because Short Hills now is probably a different place than when he was there.
When we came up, we always do like a summer trip every 3-4 years. It's my dad, my uncle, and my cousin. Yeah. We always come up to Jersey, and we went up there and drove around Short Hills. And I mean, these houses look like the size of Walmarts. And
if you owned a park bench in Short Hills 30 years ago,
you'd be
probably worth $4 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can't live there. They priced everybody out. So you know, some towns, as they become more and more wealthy, you still have your Aborigines that have been there since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
But Short Hills, I don't think has any of them left because the smallest parcel of property is worth just the dirt's worth $700,000.
Yeah, but every time I hear about Jersey, let's go to Jersey, I get excited. I just love Jersey. I don't like all the snow out there right now. It was like 11 degrees this morning. I'm outside smoking a cigarette, you know, and then I came back out like 2-3 hours later, and it was 23, and it felt like it's springtime. Which is weird.
I told you before, though, that's a reason to quit smoking when you're from Jersey.
I got to quit smoking.
Because you don't go outside. You can't smoke indoors anymore.
No.
So you got to go outside to smoke.
Yeah.
You know, you got shrinkage. Yeah. So you got to go back inside because you don't want to stay outside too long.
So the greatest thing about smoking, if anybody ever waited tables when they were young, in their younger years, you always fought for the smoking section because smokers, and smokers get a bad rap today. It used to be really cool. Now it's no longer cool. But smokers are calmer people. They always tipped better. They didn't break your balls. So we always fought for the smoking section. Now you can't even sit down and have a cup of coffee and a cigarette anymore in any diner or anything. And that was like a staple in New Jersey. So it's a shame. But so your life has growing up, good household, you know.
Very good.
Tell me a little bit about how you grew up.
It's very good, you know. My dad was a lawyer for the longest time. We'd take trips to Scotland or, you know, then we get done playing golf. We'd like drive down to England. We had a lot of fun. My parents is like super cool. They supported me they still support me to this day. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a good childhood. You know, my sister, we had fun, laughed. I never was like any bad at the house.
You can say it was just you and your sister?
Yeah.
So what was your career like? If you were a little kid today sitting in front of us, what do you think that your dream was as a little kid to be?
I wanted to be a pilot that walked down the middle of the airplane and like had a guitar and like sang to my grandma sitting in the back.
Like airplane?
That was like, that's like my dream. Like I always want to be a pilot and like go and like have a guitar and like start singing to grandma on the back.
Swinging the guitar and pulling the IV out of people's arms.
I know, right? We watched the airplane the other night, my niece and nephew, and they never laughed so hard in their life. Especially in that one part where the plane's crashing and the girl comes by at the boobs and she just like this. My nephew was like...
That is such a classic movie.
I love it.
I don't think you could make that movie anymore.
No,
especially the guys talking jive.
Yeah.
That alone.
Oh, that was so funny.
And then the old lady goes
Barbara Billingsley. It's Mrs. Cleaver.
Yeah, but remember she walked up and she's like, I got it. I speak jive.
Yeah. But that's one of those movies that stood the test of time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's as funny as it was. I think it came out in 76.
It's Leslie Nielsen stole the show.
Yeah.
You know, it's these people got to get to a hospital. Really, what is it? It's a big building with lots of beds.
But that's not important. But that's not important right now.
Yeah. But my favorite part is when he's trying to land. Remember at the last minute, and all of a sudden the lights go off, and then you look over and the guy goes, "Just kidding," and he sticks the plug back in. Or what do you say? I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah. Oh, that was. It's just one of those classic movies that they just can't do anymore. Because you know why? Part of it is because nobody can laugh anymore.
Yeah. Ted Stryker.
Yeah, nobody.
Yes,
Stryker.
Nobody can ever laugh anymore, and that's. Sometimes I'm called very unpolitically correct because I just tell how it is, and it's not done to be mean. It's it's done because that's how I was raised.
It's how we were brought up.
Yeah,
we were brought up. We watched All in the Family.
Yep.
You know, we watched all those shows where funny was funny.
If you thought Archie Bunker if you thought that show was about racism, it was. But if you thought he was a racist, you missed the
concept.
You missed the concept of the show. The show was breaking down those barriers and showing how ridiculous it was. And Carol O'Connor played an excellent role. So after you grew up, sports, college, music, what was your forte?
I like music.
You like music? What kind?
I like sports too, but I mean, I played basketball. I wasn't the best, you know. I gave up. My dad tried to put me in baseball. I didn't think it was fun having a baseball get hit at me, 100 miles an hour coming my direction. Like, am I going to get fucking hit in the head and fall over?
So what do you think it is about, I'm guessing you got into music probably around 14, 16, somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
There. What do you think? Because my son is real into music now. Like he's got to have music on when he's in the shower, and I see a lot of kids like that. They all have the beats on and stuff like this. What do you think it is about that age where it ties kids into music? You know, do you ever think about that?
It's peaceful.
Yeah, maybe.
It's kind of an escape. You know, you go listen to some music and just vibe out, chill in the yard, have fun.
You know, Kev, you were talking about playing a piano before. Did you ever go to like a restaurant where they have a piano player?
Yeah, I love it.
He just sits there, and it's just so relaxing and so peaceful, and until your bill comes.
And but it's classical music. You know that it's almost like background noise.
Yeah,
it's just it's classical music. You don't have to listen to it. There's no words. It's just you're just enjoying the moment.
But see, when I first started listening to music, it's a cassette player. Oh, so if you like the song, you're like, hey, this is a badass song. You had to go.
You had to rewind it.
And I remember the first CD player came out. I was in band, right? You hit a bump, and for like 30 seconds, it just sat there and skipped. And then it would come back in, and we're all like, yeah, I like this song.
Yeah, but that was your generation's scratching.
Yeah. Right? But you guys used to have 8 tracks.
I was just going to say my father had 8 tracks.
Yeah. I could tell you the first cassette. See, I had 45s. I remember I used to get 45s. I can tell you my first cassette tape, though. It was Def Leppard's Pyromania. That was the first cassette tape I ever, and it was 2-arm Def Leppard. So Def Leppard, you break up into 2 categories, 1-arm and 2-arm. 1-arm sucks, 2-arm was pretty cool.
I actually bought turntables in high school. Me and my friend Jeremy Avalon, after school, used to go down there and make beats on the little keyboard. We get on the turntables and mix it. You know, we had a good time. And now he's actually like a pretty big DJ up there in New York City.
Really?
Right around the corner. Jeremy Avalon. He's super dope.
Vinyl's making a comeback.
Yeah.
It sounds different. It is. You know, I always did like the sound of vinyl.
They got a shop in Atlanta down the street from the house. It's called Vinyl Shop, and the place is always busy.
Except when you got the scratch on it.
Yeah.
And the thing kept clicking. They used to tell you to put a quarter on top of the needle, and it would go through the scratches.
Is that? I never heard that one.
Yeah, and then it hit the scratch, and the quarter would fall off. And the quarter would screw up the needle, and you had to go buy a new needle.
So I got a rare antique. I have my great grandmother's Victrola.
I was going to say Victrola was the old one. It's
a standing Victrola. It's a '78 record, which is a thicker cut of vinyl. The needles are metal. I have all the needles. The thing still works. It's 120 years old.
Yeah,
thing still works, still plays. Sounds like shit, but you know. And
do you remember like
music's really not my style.
The old RCA logo was the dog sitting next to the thing with the big horn that came out. It was a dog listening to music.
So you, at some point, your life takes a turn.
Yeah.
What predicated that turn?
I don't know. I had a car wreck when I was probably 21. Had a couple of drinks driving home. I did stop to get a 40 ounce, so when I got home, I could drink more, so I stuffed it under the seat. And I was coming up over this hill, and out of nowhere, this guy just runs out and jumped on my hood and killed himself. I'm like, my mom was like, after that, like, you never been the same.
So the guy committed suicide.
Yeah, but it turned out that he had like terminally ill cancer. He was in a big fight with his wife at the bar, and he's like, I'm gonna just jump on the next car's hood. And I guess I was the lucky fucker.
You have to be, I was just gonna say, you're the poor person who happened to be driving by at that point.
Right. And I remember I tried to turn the wheel, and he'd come this way, and I tried to go the other way, and he'd go that, and I was just like, fuck. So, I mean, sometimes I'm driving on the road. You could ask my friend Becca. We're driving on the road, and I'll just, because I could just see his face coming through the windshield.
You know, there had been several times in my darkest days when that was a thought. Like, hey, listen, I just go out on Route 80.
Yeah.
Just walk in front of a tractor trailer. That's what stopped me. Because suicide is a very selfish act to begin with. But suicide, when you do it where you don't want to affect, most people who really want to do it, they don't want to affect anybody. That's why they'll go out in the woods or they'll try to stay away from people.
Quiet.
When somebody's in that mindset, they don't care. By that person changing your life forever, and I'm sure that person didn't mean to change your life forever, but unfortunately they did. You know, you
sucks.
You take somebody's life like that. You know, I understand it was an accident, but geez.
Yeah, that's my mom say, like, you just never been the same. I never really felt any effects from it.
I was gonna say he took his life and ruined your life all in the same day.
Yeah, but I mean, I really never like sat around and thought about it, you know, and nothing like that. I mean, I just had the flashbacks of his face coming through.
I was going to say, but it was in the back of your mind because that's why you're getting the flashbacks. Mm-hmm. So subconsciously, you kept thinking about that.
Yeah, I work them out. You know, therapist Mike Baker, and we did different things. Like if I wake up and have a bad dream, like put my hand in ice water, or take like, you know, a spray that's real soothing. Like I like the beach, so I spray something that smells like the beach and kind of bring me back down, and it works. So I mean.
Putting your hand in ice water, that's one I never heard.
Yeah, because you wake up in the middle of the night and you're all like, and you stick your hand in ice water and it kind of shocks you, like, and it just kind of gets off your head.
It's kind of like, I guess it's like an ice bath where it restarts your electrical system.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Huh. I never heard of that, but it sounds, it's sound. I mean, I'm a big believer in ice baths.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna check by the end of the night to see how good he's doing. When he's pulling out of the parking lot, I'm gonna run right in front of his car.
Crazy.
So what was some of the after effects of that accident that brought you down this bad road that you eventually went down?
I didn't really feel anything and felt like I was going down a bad road.
So I
lived life, chilled, went out to Vegas, lived out there off and on for a long time. I partied my ass off. We had a good time.
Yeah, Vegas.
I missed the Vegas trip.
Vegas is, that's what you do when you go out
you
there.
leave the house at noon, start drinking, you go down to the strip, and, start gambling, go to the pool, go to the nightclub, eat dinner, then you go on to the after party. And it'd be fucking 11 o'clock in the morning when you go outside. And you're like, what the fuck happened to the day?
Did the sun even go down last night?
I know, right? I mean, one time we walked out the club and it's like, it's still sunny outside. My friend's like, nah, it's the next day. I was just like, so I had a lot of fun.
But it wasn't just alcohol.
It was at the time.
It was?
Yeah.
When did the other substances start to work their way in?
I was married.
Yeah.
I hit my head running down the steps, and after that, it felt like I never really had energy anymore. And it's like I was on, Adderall for ADHD. I take a little more Adderall, notice I had energy. I take a little bit more Adderall, and I'm like, I'm fucking happy as shit.
So Adderall as a this is something that I have never experienced.
This is new to us.
Adderall as a recreational drug. I know what Adderall is, and I know what it's prescribed for, but I have no governor on it because it wasn't around when I was doing anything illicit.
Yeah.
So what does it do to you? Like what does it do to your body?
It speeds you up.
Yeah.
Like your mind's like. Like you could be half asleep and take an Adderall. I used to put it under my tongue. I'm not telling anybody how to do it, but I used to put it under my tongue because it dissolves like that, and all of a sudden 5 minutes later, I'm just, and happy. And I could be out, it'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm outside with the wheelbarrow, fucking cement. I got the desk lamp out there and I got a bunch of stones and I'm out there, making flower pots. Wife's text me, when the fuck you coming back inside the house? Neighbors driving by, I'm out there.
Neighbors going to work.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a big struggle where I got crazy and, wanted to jump off cliffs or anything like that. Mine actually was really, really fun. But after a while, just started hearing things, seeing things, started treating people differently.
Did it do anything to where it changed your personality to a point other than the energy?
Disrupt your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Did it change your personality in a positive way? Because it sounded like you enjoyed it.
It did, yeah, it did. I mean, I was always happy, and I'm an easygoing right now, being sober and clean and all that, clean for 5 years, but it just, I don't know, it kind of gives you that mindset where it's like nothing can stop you from anything, and I could get so much done in that day.
Because I often think about it.
I'd paint the house, make fire pits, go to the store, help the neighbor, do the vinyl siding, pressure wash the other neighbor's house, go outside, cut the grass, I'm still ready to go.
But you look at how many musicians get hooked on heroin.